Good afternoon. It's Monday, January 18th, and this is your daily briefing on KLAM and KCDV, as well as youtube.com/Cordova TV once it gets uploaded there. And the window is open for calling in and getting those vaccination appointments. We've been telling you about that for a while here, and we're going to talk about it a little more with Dr. Sanders here today. And we'll come back with some follow-up information. She's going to refer to a website. By the way, if you want to get a jump start on that, the shortcut to it, let me make sure I get it right, covidvax.alaska.gov. That's covidvax.alaska.gov. So you can wade through this eligibility criteria. And that would be more for looking down the road, because the batch of folks that's eligible right now is pretty straightforward. So let's talk to Dr. Sanders about that here on the Daily Briefing for January 18th. So, Doctor, today's program is brought to us by the letter V for a volume of vaccine. Let's talk about that now. The window for making the calls is open, so how's it all work and what's the plan?
So we do have an allotment of vaccine coming to Cordova this week. We expect to receive it tomorrow, so Tuesday, and we are going to hold a vaccine clinic on Wednesday. It is a limited number of vaccines. We are asking that the community members that are 65 and older that are interested in receiving vaccine to please call 424-3045 and leave a message that has their name, birthday, and phone number. We will return the phone call and let them know if we are able to get them an appointment for the Wednesday vaccine clinic. And we're hoping that this kind of first rollout of our vaccine for the community will go smooth and will help us get to the most high-risk individuals within the community.
Okay. And isn't, in addition to a commitment to being available on Wednesday, there also has to be one for a second date, February 17th, if memory serves?
Yes, exactly. So with this vaccine, it is the Moderna, and that requires a booster at 4 weeks. So we ask people, if they get the vaccine this Wednesday, that they commit to being available for that booster 4 weeks later.
And the details in the announcement, or all the details of the announcement, obviously, are available in the announcement, which we have a link to on our Facebook pages. I'm sure there are links to it on the city's Facebook pages and probably on the city website somewhere. I haven't looked at it lately. What about the future now for additional? This we get I guess 100 vaccines in this batch. How do things look on down the road for getting more people in the population taken care of?
I do want Cordova to know that we expect to get a substantial amount of vaccine in February. We are planning pods, so vaccination pods, where we'll have large community immunization events that will be available starting probably in early February. We will be letting the community know the sign-up process for that in the next 2 weeks. And I think one thing to remember is we are following the state's guidelines. The state guideline for who is eligible for a vaccine, it can get kind of confusing because they've broken it into phases and tiers. They have an excellent website. You can go and see if you're eligible now. For Cordova, the people that we are identifying as currently eligible are people that are over 65 years old, healthcare workers, or emergency responders. We have also offered the vaccine to our long-term care residents. The next phases, depending on how much vaccine uptake we have in the community during these first pods, will help determine who the next eligible group is. I expect that we will be moving toward those next eligible groups, which would be frontline essential workers and frontline essential workers for people that are 50 years or older, right, as well as people that live in congregate settings. So,
and again, we'll refer people to that state website to really go through all the details of how they plan to roll this out. They're certainly taking the lead on this. How is the spread information these days? We talked last week that the cases that were popping up on the dashboard seem to be, they seem to have a traceable point of origin and were people within the circle of the initial case. Is that still happening, or are we seeing some random spread that's hard to track? Just how's the whole tracing going?
Aside from that traceable point of origin, we are seeing, over the last month, we've seen a lot of travel-related positives. So the good news is most of the people that have traveled are coming in, they're following the guidelines, they're self-isolating, waiting for their results. And when they have a positive result, there has been very little community exposure. So we continue to see a large number of travel-related positives. But in terms of the risk to Cordova, I think people are being cautious and helping to protect their neighbors. And we really appreciate people are doing that and following through with getting the testing.
So you still feel pretty good about how people are, the people are staying alert?
Yes.
All right, good. Well, anything else? Any frequently asked questions that you get? Or is everything vaccine focused right now?
I think we're really vaccine focused. I think the whole world is watching how this vaccine is going and looking at the safety profile. I certainly continue to follow the news and the research and am wanting to ensure that the vaccine that we're giving, that we do feel like it's got a safe profile for our community members. I think it's really important to recognize that in the United States, we've given 5 million vaccines and really seen a very low number of complications for that number of vaccine that we're giving. And I think that this is an excellent tool that I'm very excited that we have and that we're going to have access to for our community.
Okay, well, always nice to have your perspective on these things. And thank you for making some time for us again.
Thank you.
All right. Thanks again, Dr. Sanders, for joining us here to talk about the rollout of vaccines and how Cordova is sort of doing in general. That phone number again, which you can now call to get one of the 100 slots, or maybe, if you don't get one of the 100, then one of those 20 wait list slots, because that's what they're doing. They fill the first 100 slots, and then the next 20 callers get put on a wait list. In order to keep it fair and channel everything through one point of data collection, they're using one phone number, 424-3045. And the window for calling that, like we say, is now open. 424-3045. And the appointment times are for Wednesday between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. You also need to be available for your second dose on February 17th, so they'll want you to commit to that. And if you want to read this full sheet, it's available on our two Facebook pages, KLAM and KCDV. I know that for sure. I'm sure it's also on the city site and the city Facebook pages by now. And the state site, remember, to learn about eligibility criteria and the state's requirements, covidvax.alaska.gov. That's covidvax.alaska.gov. We'll continue to come to you in the 1, 5, and 8 p.m. hours on the radio. Upload things to youtube.com/Cordova TV as soon as possible. Thanks to Robbie for the assist on that. Everybody have a great day. Again, the phone number once more, 424-3045 to sign up for one of the vaccine slots. And we'll get you back to regular programming now here on KLAM and KCDV.